human beings are self-conscious, and we know about our limitations, and we know about our weaknesses. And so we can have contempt for human beings in general because, we're just flawed and breakable and all of that. But we know ourselves better than we know everyone else. Unless you're narcissistic, and some people are, then you have a very acute sense of how you're not up to scratch. And that leads naturally to a sort of self-contemptuous attitude. People are more likely to give prescription medication to their pets than to take them themselves. Imagine someone that you treat well, that you love, then try to treat yourself that way. You got to detach from yourself a bit. You got to think, okay, well, I'm a person among other people, and I deserve at least as much respect as a person among other people. And I should be trying to help myself across time instead of being self-contemptuous and self-destructive. I need to take care of myself as if I'm potentially valuable and to lay out my life that way. There is a lot of potential within you, and there's many things that you can do, and you're necessary more than you think to the unfolding of things. Like if you make a bunch of bad decisions, things get worse, not just for you, and maybe way worse. You don't know how your actions echo. And so it matters what you do. And so part of what you do is you want to treat yourself as if what you do matters. And so you want to have some respect for yourself and some fear of yourself. That's also that.
Why is the truth so important? You know what? Because first of all, it does set you free mentally, and it gives you a starting point. You have to have the truth to have a starting point. If I'm lying to you about who I am, or I'm lying to you about whatever, there's no starting point. There's a false reality. You have to create the real reality. So that's what I call my accountability mirror in my book. That's the real reality. Where the fuck am I going to start from? So for me, I was lying to this, lying about that. So I had no starting point. Once you come face to face with who you are, you have a starting point. All right. I'm not real smart. I have no courage. I have no self-esteem. I have no nothing. Nothing. That's my starting point. Now we can move from there. But if I tell myself I'm strong, I have courage, I'm smart, and all these are lies, you continuously push that starting point backwards. So that starting point is the truth. The no fucking bullshit truth that only you can tell yourself. So it's the starting point. The truth's the starting point. When I was 297 pounds and I was fat as hell trying to be a Navy SEAL, the scariest thing in the world to me, even to this day, was that could have been the rest of my life. I thought then I was trying hard. That's the scariest thing in the world. I thought then 297 pound, working for Ecolab, spraying for cockroaches, making $1,000 a month. I thought that was me at my 100% potential. Come to find out, a few years later, I wasn't anywhere near that. 106 pounds less, graduate Navy SEAL training, went on to do all these other things. Looking back on that, that was me trying hard. That's why people got to understand what is in us. We have no idea until we start trying hard. And I mean really trying hard, where you're obsessed with, hey, this is my new norm. My new norm is that, wow, this isn't always fun. It's not always meant to be fun. And that's when you know you're trying hard.
When I lost all my money, guess what? I found out Mr. Shope was right. What was valuable was...
But imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, but you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams. You never acted on those ideas. You never used those gifts. And there they are standing around your bed looking at you with large angry eyes saying, we came to you and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. And the question is, if you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what leadership, what books, what gifts will die with you? Very good friend that I lost recently, Miles Monroe, said, the wealthiest place on the planet is not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. He said the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. But there you find potential never realized. There you find dreams never pursued. There you find people allow themselves to be imprisoned by fear and living a small life. Maybe that's why one woman asked in a moment of anguish, what if you live your whole life only to discover it was wrong? Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau said, oh God, to reach the point of death, only to realize that you've never lived, only to realize that you've never scraped the surface of your potential. Let us say together, live full, die empty. And that's what Strong Group is about. It's teaching people methods and techniques that will allow them to live a full life, allow them to control their financial future, allow them to be in control of their destiny.
When I sit down in my discipline, in my morning meditation, the first thing that we have to do is we have to become conscious of our unconscious self. So it's entirely possible that we're judging other people and we don't know that we're doing it because it's an unconscious program. It's entirely possible that we're living by guilt every single day because it's become so common and so familiar to us. So as we begin to become conscious of those unconscious states, we're going into the operating system of the subconscious and making them conscious. So the more we are conscious of those unconscious states, the more control we have on those later on in our day. And so most people, they start out with really good intentions to think positively, but they may have been thinking, acting, or feeling negatively for the last 25 years. So I just take a little bit of time and I become aware of who I no longer want to be. Then I begin to think about who I want to be when I open my eyes, what thoughts I do want to fire and wire in my brain, what behaviors I do want to demonstrate. And if you begin to contemplate or even mentally plan or rehearse your behaviors, if you do it properly, mental rehearsal shows that you begin to install the neurological circuits in your brain. So now the brain looks like the experience has already happened, or better yet, the brain is primed now for you to get your behaviors to match your intentions in your waking day.